Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to today's episode of After the Three Count, filmed at the incredible TexTV Studios here at the OC. I am one of your two hosts, Ashley, and of course, we've got Chase in the room per usual.
What's up, girl? How you doing?
You know, I'm doing pretty good. I had a good day at physical therapy today. My muscles hurt, my elbow hurts, but in a good way. So I can't complain about today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's cold. I don't know what happened. The day started out, it was almost like 80 degrees, and then all of a sudden, right
I know.
now,
Didn't they say it was going to get warmer today? And then I go outside and I'm like,
yeah,
I got to put a sweater on? Seriously?
yeah, the high today. So I said almost 80. It was almost 70. It was 67 today,
Yeah.
and it's gonna get down to 38 tonight.
We're going to have that from now on, but I think we have one spike. I think it's
So Wednesday, yeah, Wednesday
yeah.
it's like 80 degrees,
Mhm.
and then it goes right back down. So
We'll see if it
yeah,
happens.
all the headaches and pressure changes and everything is gonna be lovely this week.
True. I'm glad I don't have like winter allergies like most people. I only suffer in the springtime and summertime.
Mhm.
Well, do you have any bookings for the rest of the year? Because I know a lot of wrestlers kind of take the rest of the year off. all
So
the time.
December, I was just looking over this. Actually, before you came here, that's funny. I have 3 days in December that I don't have something going on.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's almost every weekend, Saturday, Sunday. The roughest one is December 14th. I'm in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
December 15th, I'm in Rockwall, right outside of Fate, or in Fate,
Oh,
right
wow.
outside
So
of
you
Rockwall.
got to make that drive.
Yeah, so we're probably going to go up Friday night and then either leave Saturday after the show and just come straight back, or
Mhm.
just go ahead and stay and then just get up super early Sunday.
Man,
But
you
normally,
never know. You never know. It all depends on how you feel.
yeah, and normally I do try to kind of, come down a little bit towards the end of the year, but the way it just worked out this year, like I'm booked all the way through, and then when January hits, I'm booked all the way through. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think my next open weekend right now is like mid-March. So which I'm stoked about. Like it
Right.
could always be better, but
Exactly. Like
definitely not
being,
slowing down for the holidays.
exactly. Like being booked is never a bad thing for
No.
wrestlers.
No,
Like,
not
it's
at
what
all.
we want. It's how we get out of the hole of spending so much money.
Exactly. And just trying to find that balance of, staying so busy, but giving myself time to
Mhm.
recuperate. Like, I woke up this morning and I felt like a month's worth of just wear and tear just smacked me all in the
Mm.
face. So I don't have anything this weekend. It's my girlfriend Savannah's birthday, so we're going to take
Aw,
it easy.
Happy birthday.
Yep, we're going to take it easy and just do that. So I'll have this weekend to kind of chill and relax before ramping up for December.
Very nice. Now
Mhm.
that I'm actually looking at my calendar, the 7th, 14th, and 21st, I'm going to be at shows as well. I'm
Mhm.
not wrestling at the 7th. It's going to be over in Coppell with Sword Championship Wrestling, and then the 14th it'll be in Paris, Texas with Sword Championship Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
They've got a place out there now too, and I'm not wrestling at those. I'm just doing my little group Dark Trinity shenanigans,
Yeah.
which it's so good. But I will be having my return match back December 21st in Phoenix, Arizona.
And what a cool place to do it. Like, have
I know,
you
right?
have you been to Phoenix before?
I go to Arizona. I go to Tucson quite often
Okay.
because Ryan's mom lives out there.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So
Cool.
we go out there. We visit her quite often. So we
Mhm.
will be going out there for Christmas this year,
Mhm.
and because we alternate Thanksgiving or Christmas,
Mhm.
and she is so freaking excited. It is going to be a 3-on-3. So
Okay.
if
so it's a
that's the way to get
6-man.
back into it, I'm totally cool with that. I've
Yeah.
learned when I came back from my second knee surgery, I was doing more multi-man matches,
Mhm.
and it actually made me love them more because you can still put your work in, you can still get your reps in and tell a story, but you don't have to get nearly as beat up
No.
as you would if it's a one-on-one.
I mean, especially working your way back in. I mean, I think that's the easiest thing to do. I mean, I couldn't imagine, because how long have you been off now?
Since July.
July. Okay. So
About 5 months.
Oh yeah, 5 months, almost 6.
Mhm.
So, I mean, when I came back from my ACL, that was a 9-month recovery.
That was fast.
And yeah, and I was back in the ring at 8, but I didn't feel comfortable full blown going at it until 9. Um, so I worked tag matches for a while, and I love tag team wrestling anyways.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was so much fun. And then I finally, you're like, okay, I can do this one-on-one again. But it just gives you a little bit of that crutch, I guess, to kind of test the waters a little bit before you
Mm-hmm.
just dive head
Oh
first
yeah,
in.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because my problem is, I thought that when I would come back to the ring after injuries, I would be a little more conservative. I'd be more aware. No, as soon as I get in there, my adrenaline's pumping and I don't feel anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
the past couple times at practice, I'd get in the ring and do stuff, and I wouldn't notice my elbow until I feel it pinch. Then I'm like,
Yeah.
probably shouldn't do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I tried it anyway because you do have to push those boundaries. You do have to know your limits so you
Yeah.
don't do anything stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just trying to be responsible.
As responsible as we can be as we throw ourselves around.
So, are you ready for the title for today's episode that I came up with?
Let's hear it.
It is Current Trends, Creepy Tidings, and the Return of Territories.
Okay.
So, I want to jump right in to the trends. I want to address the elephant in the room. WWE ID. What do you think about it?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to sit here and truly think of anything negative that could come from it.
Mhm.
I saw a lot of the negativity online, which of course there's always going to be negativity online,
Of course.
and I just don't, as a independent professional wrestler, I look at this and I'm like, oh, yeah, ha ha, angels sing, right?
Right.
Like, if you want a foot into WWE, this is how you do it. Like, there's never been a more clear-cut
Direct.
way of
Mhm.
doing it. When, even 10 years ago, breaking in, like, at that point of my career, or at that point with wrestling in Texas, was a little bit of a black hole.
Yeah.
And, I remember getting told all the time, you have to get out of Texas. You have to get out of Texas.
Mhm.
And now looking at the WWE ID with ROW down in Houston with Bookers, like, Texas is such a hot spot
Texas is hot.
for wrestling, and so much so that there's so many wrestlers that are moving from other states here now,
Oh,
and
don't do
that
that.
really
Don't do that.
but that was never happening before. I think of, like, people like Laney Luck, who broke in around the same time that I did. They're up in Chicago,
Yeah.
and they're killing it. They're
Mhm.
absolutely killing it. But, for the longest time, it was, you have to get out of Texas. You have to get out of Texas. And so now, I mean, with the WWE ID things, I know it's Seth Rollins' school, Booker's. Gosh, I'm going blank. I should probably definitely know this. But, having that WWE ID here in Texas, down in Houston, like, I don't know. It's that should be a shot in the arm. If you have ever done anything with Booker before, if you have ever
Mhm.
performed for Row before, if you've ever thought about going to perform at Row before,
Yeah.
that should be your kick in the ass, and
Yeah.
you should get it in gear. So I can understand. I'm babbling here. What do you think? what do you think about it?
No, I agree with you about, this is the time you should be trying to get in there, but at the same time, you should have been trying this entire time anyway. Like, I've been trying to get into Row for a while now, and it's not necessarily that I'm having to fight,
Mhm.
but I'm having to work for it like everyone else does.
Yeah.
Like, I have been invited down there to go train, and I haven't been able to yet, but now that I'm better, I plan on it. Yeah, it's a crappy drive, but
Mhm.
I'm going to do it. And I know once I train there, they'll see me. I've talked with Kevin down there before. So I'm trying to kind of get my name in their head so they're aware of it. But now all these people are going to be swarming them, and I'm just like, oh God.
And that's what I was going to say. It's one of those things, if you're already not, on their radar,
Right.
then of course people are going to flood to them now,
Mhm.
and I've talked, I've gone down to Row twice. And I've gone the day before, trained with the guys, and then stuck around for the show, and I
Mhm.
didn't get used. But
It happens.
I still decided again I would go do it again in
Oh,
a
absolutely.
heartbeat, because I mean, if I'm not there putting a name to face and shaking hands, you can send as many Facebook messages and Instagram DMs and phone calls and text messages as you want.
It won't
but
be as
but
impactful.
if you're not there in front of them, how is Booker supposed to know who I am?
Exactly.
Or even if he gets the good word from someone else about, hey, Bam's good. He's an all right guy. Well, he hasn't met me. How is he supposed to know that?
Especially because he's of that older generation, older. He's
Mhm.
of that older wrestling generation that we look up to, and we know like that generation likes a certain work ethic.
Yeah.
I mean, there are younger promotions that they're okay with just messaging and whatever, but people like that, no,
Mhm.
you gotta like show up and you gotta work for it, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, you're so right. There are so many wrestlers, promoters, even big name companies that are kind of scoffing at this WWE ID thing. But a lot of these people, I feel like it's more of their jealousy coming out with this
Yeah.
mentality because they're the typical, I've been doing this for 10 years and this greenhorn thinks he's just going to come in and have a shot. Like, well, I'm sorry you didn't make anything of yourself in 10 years, but don't take it out on this new kid who
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's the business. If they
Mhm.
don't like you, they're not going to use you. If they like you, they're going to use you.
Mhm.
Like, it blew my mind when I found out Anna Jay started immediately on AEW, and she was only like a year or so in, and I'm like,
Mhm.
dang, she's that good a year in, man.
Mhm.
And like, I never got that mentality. It's like, man, she didn't put in the work. I was like, dang, she good.
Well, I mean, prime example, look at Logan Paul. You know,
I
he
hate the dude, but I cannot deny he's a fantastic wrestler.
he is. And when you take somebody and, I don't know for sure with Anna Jay's instance, so I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth, but you look at Logan Paul, look at his athleticism, and look who was training him, Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're already that good of an athlete and you have arguably the greatest of all time coaching you,
It's gonna come to you easy.
you should be amazing.
Oh,
if,
yeah.
If he wasn't amazing, there's something wrong.
Something wrong with
there's
him.
something wrong in this equation. So, and dude, he capitalized and he's right there, and he brought something to WWE.
Yeah, he's playing the game. He knows he's a businessman.
Yes,
He knows.
And we can hate and get upset as much as we want to, but that's not going to help us get to that next step.
Yeah.
No, not at all. And do you know what? Good for Anna Jay. If she broke in at the right time, because all of this, 90% of this wrestling stuff is right time, right place.
Yeah, it's who you know.
She was in the right time. AEW started up. She has a look to her. She belongs on TV,
Yeah.
and they brought her right up.
Yeah, and there's
And-
nothing like people need to understand that that's going to happen and you shouldn't get butthurt about it.
No.
Like, it's life.
No.
Like, just work harder.
Yeah.
And try again.
And some of the best advice I've ever been given was by Cassidy Riley. We used to tag together in like Louisiana, Mississippi.
Mhm.
He was a TNA original. He was signed with WWE for a little while, but honestly, the best advice that I've ever gotten from him was literally just don't quit. Do not give up.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know how many times I've seen guys and girls in this industry, if they would have stayed in 6 months longer, that break would have been there.
Yeah.
And, he was like, just do not give up.
No.
And I've taken that, I'm sure you've been through the same thing. Injuries happen. You sit there at the end of the day, you're like, oh, man, is this really worth it? Like, why am I doing this? But
I've had multiple people, including my parents, ask me that,
Yep.
especially after the arm incident. They're like, are you going to stop? No.
No. Yeah.
Like, I'm not. Like, I'll know when I want to stop. I'll know.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to want to because I love this too much.
Mhm.
But,
Agreed.
so who do you think, because like they're already signing people to WWE ID, who do you think is going to be one of the next ones from Texas? Or who do you think should be? Because I know a lot of people at Row are already on the radar.
Uh-huh.
But there are some people that are getting signed on. I'm just like, I've never heard of this person before.
I think, Jay Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you could pick him right now and place him in NXT and wind him up like a top and watch him go.
Yep.
I mean, he has the look, the athleticism, everything about him. I mean, I think you could pick him up and plug him right in and he would be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So at Row, yeah, he would have to be my number one. And I mean, there's so many good guys there. I mean, Izzy James, Chandler Hopkins is there. Like, there's so many. Edge Stone. Edge Stone is probably,
Yeah.
with Jay and Edge, that's probably 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
To me, I was an extra with Edge at Raw when, I don't know if you saw it, when he hurdled that barricade.
Yes.
And he stole the show. I mean, by hurdling a barricade, that dude is stupid. I mean, stupid athletic, and has the looks, has the athleticism, everything. So, I mean, I'd have to say Jay and Edge are my 1A and 1B in that. What about you?
Very nice. Without a doubt, I know they have to have their eyes on Maya World.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's been great. Like, she's had the skill from day one. She's so athletic. She has a cheer background, I believe, and I've trained with her a couple times over at MPX. And she's just the sweetest girl ever. And the fact that she's just so young, she's so driven, and she exudes this confidence about her, but when you get to know her a little bit, you can kind of see that she's just a little shy.
Yeah.
But I will say,
it's almost like a wall she puts up. Almost. Yeah.
And that's normal. And I will say, it kind of would show in her talking ability a little bit, especially being like vocal in the ring. But even that's improved.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. And because I'm still watching and stuff. And so there's no doubt in my mind that she's definitely going to be soon. There's no way.
Yeah.
Speaking of Texas blowing up, of course I got to talk about how Dog Pound is now part of NWA Texas. Like, that is just so exciting to think that these people I've worked with or around, all these opportunities, they now have the chance to showcase their talents on NWA because, WWE, ID, NXT, sure, but NWA is also a big deal too.
Yes, of course.
It's also what I consider another stepping stone for people to get the eyes on you that matter. And the first person that comes to my mind who I think is going to capitalize on that a lot and who's going to benefit from that a lot is Misty Marks. And
Misty's good, man.
I just know she is going to kill it over at NWA. I think she already had like a couple matches over there. I definitely know she's had one, but she's one of those natural fits where it's just like, she's got it.
Yep, pick and plug. Yeah, and it couldn't have happened to, better people in Rodney and Jazz. I mean, I'm so stoked for them. I'm so happy that they're getting the backing from the NWA, and I think the world of them. They've always taken so much good care of me, Rodney and Jazz, both of them, and so to see all of this come together for them, I'm super stoked for them.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting, and also the fact that NWA has come here to the OC and have worked with TSW. Weren't you there?
I did.
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah, that was my debut with NWA. It was this past May.
Yeah.
And we do. I'm gonna drop a little teaser. We do have some interesting developments coming up with NWA Texas. So San Antonio will not be the only NWA Texas territory.
I don't know how much we can say, but I know what wavelength you're on.
Picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. So, okay. The last episode, we pretty much talked a lot about wrestling because we had James Beard. Of course, we're going to talk about wrestling. We're going to pick his brain. So I want to take a break from wrestling for a bit. I'm going to go back into it because there is something about NWA I want to address that I think is interesting. But I want to get into the holidays. It's officially holiday season. So I want to know, what are some of your favorite things to do this time of year? Like, what do you celebrate and all that?
So, like, I'll be going down. My parents live about an hour and a half away from Forney, so I'll go down to their place Thursday and spend all Thursday with them. And then typically I'll come back and usually meet up with a group of my friends Thursday night. So that'll be a little bit of our Friendsgiving.
I was going to say, do you do a Friendsgiving?
So we have in the past like a full-blown Friendsgiving, but all of our schedules are so busy and so hectic. So we're like, hey, look, if we can just make it like a few hours Thursday night, we'll go find somewhere and go hang out for a little bit, then that's perfectly fine. But I love the holidays. I really do. Like, I just turn into a big giant kid this time of year. Thanksgiving is okay for me. I'm going to commit the sin. I don't really care for Thanksgiving food all that much. I really don't.
Really?
No.
You don't have like a thing that you're just like, man, yeah, I'm gonna smash that.
No, not really. I like the sides.
Yeah.
So like mashed potatoes
Oh, yeah.
and green bean casserole.
Because you can have turkey any time of year, but there's something about the Thanksgiving size. You're just like, man.
Yep. But yeah, turkey, ham, not really that big of a thing. I mean, I eat chicken breast and turkey year long.
Literally.
Like, it's like, yay, we get more. We
Yay,
get
more turkey.
Yeah, yay, more. And like every now and then they'll jazz it up and fry the turkey
Oh, Lord.
or something. But no,
honey
and like
glazed ham?
we've done a couple. We've done a couple of times. Like I remember my family, we did like an Italian Thanksgiving one year.
Ooh, okay.
So, everybody just did Italian food instead of traditional. So I think the rest of my family kind of falls in line with the same thought of, we have to do Thanksgiving food. And there's another thing. Why is Thanksgiving food so similar to Christmas food?
Because if you really think about it, the whole feasting of this
Mhm.
time of year, it's about enjoying the food with those you love and those who are near to you of the seasons.
Mhm.
It's the foods that are available this time of year, which is why cranberries are very hardy. You can find them year round. Turkey, that's just this time of year when you eat it. Same with ham. Because historically, I'm about to show my nerdy side a bit. Historically, people would have to eat these foods that they have stored up or harvested over the summer, or else they would have gone bad. And that's the time to eat it anyway, because they can't go out and grow more.
Exactly.
Sure, they can go hunt some animals, but they need other things too. And so to see that it's similar, that's not really something like, oh, why does it, you need to only have this on Thanksgiving, this on Christmas. It's like, the only difference I know is like the freaking stuffing. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else, like,
Pretty
it's
much
fair
all
game.
the same. Yeah.
You're gonna have deviled eggs at both.
Now, I will tear up some deviled eggs.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do love some deviled eggs.
You're gonna have paprika on it or no?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the cranberries. Oh, cranberries.
Nope. Out.
What?
Yep. Nope. You bring out the cranberry and stuff like that, I'm done.
But it's in such a beautiful canned shape.
Nope. Now, I will say it is satisfying, like cutting the edges of it.
And then,
but eating it, no, that's just not my thing.
Come on.
I know. Just not my thing.
You know what? I'm gonna make you a little thing because
Okay.
I like baking. It's brie cheese and cranberries.
See, I could get with that.
Okay, I'm
could
gonna
get-
make it for you. I'm gonna have you try it next time
Okay.
because I usually only make it around this time of year.
Yeah, I think I could get with that. You throw a little of that cheese in there, I think I'd be all right.
So when do you put up your Christmas tree?
Oh, girl, it's up right now. So, but we have a Halloween tree.
Excellent. Okay.
And the Halloween tree's black. So it
course.
just stays. And
Yeah.
we just strip it and then throw up the Christmas
Oh, you got a
stuff
black Christmas tree
on there.
technically.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
Nice.
ours stays up from October 1st till probably around New Year's.
I love it.
What about you guys?
Mine's already up.
Mhm.
I put that baby up like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
November 1st, I was already decorating my
Yeah.
house. But I saved the tree for a little bit later.
Yeah. Well, my thing is everybody says, wait till after Christmas or after Thanksgiving to put up the
No.
tree. Well,
I'll do what I want.
Well, I want to see it for longer than
Yes, I want to see it longer than 25 or not
Yeah.
25, like 30 days. Like,
No,
no.
like I want the decorations. Like I love this time of year because everything feels like more cozy and
Yeah.
like everybody's friendly, everybody's not like I want to see the Christmas lights. I'm gonna soak in these 2 months as much as I can.
Right? I mean,
So
you can go outside and not want to kill someone because it's not blistering hot. It's cold, so you're just kind of rushing around like, oh, excuse me, I gotta go.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I
no.
prefer it.
Yeah, definitely keep the tree up longer than just December. That's ridiculous.
Right, because I'm totally not a Thanksgiving person. Like my parents have done that too before, where they start when the kids leave the house, they don't see the point of putting out a feast or whatever. But if I text them and say, hey, I want to come over, they'll do something. But
Yeah.
now it's not turkey anymore because my dad, he can cook.
Mhm.
And one year they did tamales, and I'm just like, yes, please,
Mhm.
yes.
Mhm.
Probably shouldn't have banged on the table, but it's fine. I just got so excited with the food. But yeah, I just don't celebrate Thanksgiving much. I don't care for it. I don't have any traditions. So you celebrate Christmas?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I do love my entire family is going to be there Thursday, extended family too as well. So I mean, we're going to have like 50 people
Oh, wow.
jammed into this house. So like, it'll be cool. getting to see all of them. And like I always cherish that, getting to see family whenever I can, because you know how it is. We do miss stuff a lot of times, and we do miss birthdays and holidays
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, the time I do get to spend with them, of course, I'm going to love that. But the actual holiday of Thanksgiving itself, it just, nah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Nah.
that's really what it is at this point, just getting the time to hang out with your
Mm-hmm.
cousins that you never see, hang out with your uncles and the rest of your family.
Mm-hmm. Now, Christmas, I'm all about Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love Christmas.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
I was literally about to ask you that. The one I will say, I have multiple favorites, but the one I watch the most, it's between Elf and Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
You could say Home Alone's not really a Christmas movie, but if a movie is set in Christmas time, it is a Christmas movie to
Well, I
me.
mean, people say Die Hard's not a Christmas movie.
I mean, I classify it as a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Am I going to watch it? I mean, probably not.
But
Like,
it's
I
a
might.
Christmas movie.
I do consider it to be a Christmas
Yeah.
movie because, it's Christmas time. But yeah, love me some Elf. I love the older movies for sure because,
Yeah.
like, I feel like everyone's just coming out with, like, Christmas movies left and right, especially Hallmark. There are some days where I will be in my feelings and I'm just being, you know what, I'm just going to put on Hallmark and make myself cry. Why
Yep.
not?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good time. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
So Elf is definitely up there with mine. Anything Will Ferrell involved, I'm sold. I'm in. Now this one's a little bit different. Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't know if you.
No, I can see that.
Yeah, I love that movie.
It's both. It's
and I
dual.
do, and I watch it every Halloween. I watch it every Christmas, and I absolutely love that. Last year, I got a stockings. So I got a Jack Skellington stocking for myself.
Uh-huh.
I'm going blank on her name. You're gonna have to help me here. What's the girl's name?
Sally.
Sally. I got a Sally one for Savannah, and then for her dog Guts, I got a Zero stocking.
Oh, okay,
And we
that's
put,
cute.
Yeah, put like dog toys and all his dog treats in there. And so, yeah, Nightmare, honestly, it kind of looks like Nightmare Before Christmas threw up when you walk into our living room.
Okay, but that's cool.
Oh, I think it's the coolest thing ever.
It is
Yeah.
the coolest thing ever.
So it fits the theme.
Are there any other, so you hang out with your family and whatnot, are there any Christmas traditions you ever did with your family or that you do now with Savannah?
So we will go and do like a drive-through Christmas light thing. There's actually one in Seagaville. It's off of 175. Have you been to that one before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go there. A lot of times I would just go up to like Highland Park and just drive through the
just drive through the neighborhood.
Yep, we just go get hot chocolate, drive through the neighborhood, just go look at Christmas lights and do all that. So, normally just looking around Christmas lights. And now I will say I do for, probably the last 5 or 6 years. I didn't do it last year, but I'm kind of thinking about doing it again. Black Friday. Do you ever participate in Black Friday?
Not anymore, just because it's like, it's Black Friday basically for the entire month of November at this point. There was only one time when I was a teenager I actually did Black Friday, and it was like, where's the mop? Like, it was kind of boring, and I'm
Yeah.
like, whatever.
So we used to go to Town East Mall
Oh, God bless your soul.
and strictly go just for people watching.
Oh, yeah.
And
great.
we'd be 16, 17 running around the mall at 2, 3 a.m. However,
that's what you do.
Yep, exactly. And just people watching. We didn't have a dime to our name. Probably couldn't buy anything if we
Oh,
wanted
no,
to.
absolutely not.
But
You
we'd
either
go-
hang out at Town East or the Harbor.
Yep.
Like
yep,
one of those.
Yep. So we'd go up to Town East and just people watch on Black Friday.
That's the best thing ever. And commercialization. What are you gonna do?
So what do you guys normally do traditional wise? Or tradition wise? You have any Christmas traditions that you do or
So my family never really did that.
Mhm.
As far as tradition wise,
Mhm.
there are no family traditions. Ryan and I, we do drive around, see Christmas lights. Unfortunately, we can't do that very long because I get car sick really easy.
Oh no.
But if the night is not so cold,
Yeah.
we'll like walk around.
Uh-huh.
Because I live in a neighborhood where I feel like we could probably walk around and see some cool lights. I love the Christmas lights, and I really love, I gotta throw creepy stuff in it.
Of course.
Mayor.
Uh-huh.
And so a lot of the traditions and the stories that I like to do are creepy, of course. And if you want, I can give you a little lore because
I'm
you see
here
I got
for
the
it.
Krampus sweater
I see
on.
it. Yeah. I complimented you as soon as I came in. I was like, that is cool.
It's definitely one of my more favorite lores, but I picked top 3 for you because they're just the funniest thing to me.
Okay.
So we have Krampus, which is
Mhm.
basically the anti-Santa Claus.
Mhm.
Santa comes down, gives you presents, naughty nice, gives you coal if you're naughty. Krampus, he is a half goat, half demon creature, and he punishes the naughty children by snatching them up, taking them to his lair, whipping them with sticks, and eating them.
Okay.
So I just think it's so funny the stories that people come up with outside of
Oh, I know,
America.
right.
They're
Mhm.
so much better.
Mhm.
Because, like, in America, it's like, oh, you have to be nice or you won't get this. And over there, they're like, no, you got to be nice or else you're going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fantastic. And there is a Krampus movie out. I think it's on Netflix.
That's what I was just about to say. There is a movie.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
It's good.
I'm gonna have to find it and watch it. I've never seen it.
It's good. It's nice and creepy. And it's just like, dang, I think my introduction to Krampus and the Yule Cat and Gryla and all these things, that happened when I was like a preteen.
Uh-huh.
And so like I've just been obsessed with it ever since. My other favorite one is the Yule Cat, which is a creature over in Iceland. Yeah, in Iceland, and it's just what it says. It's a cat. She's pet to this lady who lives in the wood. Her name is Gryla and her
Okay.
sons, which is another thing altogether. And to be fair, it is a giant black cat. So it's kind of like, aw, kitty, like, I want to pet you. But no.
No, I just looked it up. Yeah, this.
It's a giant cat,
Yeah.
but it's so cute. And but what the Yule Cat does is, like every other thing in the UK or in the United, whatever, it punishes children who misbehave,
Mm-hmm.
who don't have new clothes
Oh.
by attacking and eating them. So if you don't have new clothes, it's going to be like, you're my
gone.
snack.
Damn.
And when I first read this, I was like, but people can be poor and they don't get new clothes, but the
not
whole,
with Yule Cat around.
not with the Yule Cat around, no. But the whole point of the scary Christmas kitty was to tell kids, like, hey, if you're good, you'll get a new sweater for Christmas. If you're not,
Oh,
don't go
okay.
outside unless you want to be cat food.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, but now as an adult, as a kid, I was like, clothes, whatever. But now as an adult, it's like, I want my fuzzy socks.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah.
I want my gift.
And it's crazy how like gifts change as you get older, right? Because like my family.
Yeah, what you value.
Yep. Yeah. I could like if I get socks and underwear every year from my parents, and I'm like, thank you. Like,
Right.
that is exactly like I don't need anything else. I don't, I'm good.
Right.
But if you would have given that to me, I don't know, 10 years ago, or let's say 15 years ago, no, I would have been throwing an absolute
Right.
fit. Yeah.
I am such a sock person. I want to say I have like maybe 10 or 11 Christmas socks. Of course, I'm wearing Christmas socks right now.
Mm-hmm.
And every year, also have Halloween socks, of course, but every year I always take a picture of them and I'll tag Sir Mo and post online. I don't know why. It drives him nuts because I'll just be like, hey, where are your socks at, Mo? Where are your socks? I love bugging him and
Mhm.
teasing him.
How is he doing? Is he doing good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
good.
doing really good. He's walking around really fast. He scared the crap out of me at the last Paris show because I'm
Really?
just sitting there and next
Uh-huh.
thing you know, I see, whoosh, and I'm like, oh, God. Like, where did you come from?
I'm good. I'm really glad he's doing well. I like Mo a lot. He's a good guy.
He is. He's doing much better. He's lost so much weight.
Mhm.
Soon he's gonna have the bag off, which I know he's super excited about getting that removed once he finally can.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to see how, because I saw him at his worst.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went to the hospital, and it's crazy just seeing how much he's changed and how much better he is now.
Yeah, he's resilient, man.
So resilient. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, it's incredible. So like I said, there's so many Christmas stories I could get into, creepy stuff, but the last one I'm gonna do is really funny. It's the Mary Lloyd. The Mary Lloyd is also known as the Christmas zombie horse.
Okay.
Okay.
Zombie horse.
Hear me out.
Okay.
It's a Welsh tradition, and it's basically caroling, a rap battle with a skeleton hobby horse. Do you know what a hobby horse is?
I don't. Oh no.
It's the horse head on a stick.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
They're
Okay.
trying to make it a sport now. Anyway, don't cancel me. So this group of people, they'll come to your door and they'll have this giant horse skeleton on a pole, and the skeleton is not scary. It's like it has gorgeous cloak, bells, and
Okay.
ribbons and baubles. It's really pretty.
So
So
it's
it's
like,
like, what are you doing? But um, it'll try to enter your home. And so the only way to get out of it, because it'll start singing, it'll start caroling. But then it's not a rude horse, of course.
uh-huh.
So it's not just going to walk through your house. So it's going to give you the option to kind of one up it in caroling
Uh-huh.
or little quips. I call it rapping. Why not?
Uh-huh.
And so it'll engage with you by singing and basically rap battling. And if you win, the horse goes away, goes to the next house. If you lose, the horse enters your house. It's a group of, like, I want to say 4 or 5 dudes. They'll enter your house, drink all of your beer, and eat your food, and then just dip.
Is this a real thing?
It's a real thing.
How do you sign up for
I
it?
If I tried to do that here, I feel like I would get shot.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
But I want to
in
do
Texas,
it so
dude.
bad.
There's absolutely no way that is ever happening anywhere around here.
Absolutely not. But I would absolutely love it. And like, I know, because I decorate so crazy for Halloween, and I really wanted to get a Krampus this year,
Uh-huh.
and I really wanted to get a Mary Lloyd, but I know I would have been judged so bad. Which at the same time, I don't really care. But also, it's like, I don't want to go get locked up at Terrell State again.
Just Mary Lloyding around, ended up at Terrell
And
State
Mary
again.
Lloyd around. I'm just trying to have a good time, drinking all this beer and stuff. Next thing you know, I'm back in a padded room.
Mm-hmm.
What
Stealing
can I
beer
say?
and food, man. That's insane. I totally thought this was going to be... So people actually really do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look up. So that's what I'm going to be doing when I get home tonight is YouTubing Mary Lloyd and seeing what I can find. That's
Just
crazy.
Google like creepy Christmas traditions. It'll tell you all about Krampus, Mary Lloyd, Belschnickel. Have you ever seen The Office?
Yes.
It's a real thing. Belschnickel is a real thing. It's,
Okay.
it's kind of like Krampus, but
That's what I was going to
not
say.
as
The only
scary.
time I've heard of it was from Dwight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a real thing.
Okay.
Like he'll come and yeah, he might give you some gifts, but he's gonna beat you if you're bad. Which again, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Like screw giving a kid coal. If anything, coal back then was a hot commodity.
Mhm.
Like parents telling their kids, "No, be bad. We need coal for the harsh winters ahead."
If you were bad, you get kidnapped. That's insane.
Or
That's
eaten
so
by a
funny.
cat.
Eaten by a cat.
I love it, and like just hearing all these traditions from all over the world, it's adorable.
Mhm.
And it'll just keep you reading and guessing, and it's interesting. And because when I was a kid, I was into Santa and all that stuff. But like I said, I came across this when I was a preteen, and I immediately was like, Santa, who?
Yep.
Like, I like this.
And it's just so interesting just to see how, how different parts of the world celebrate, the
Mhm.
same thing or, why they're celebrating
Yeah.
that, So like when you have stories like this that are so outrageous and so contradicting to what we know as Christmas, like it's funny. Like I don't know, the world just how everybody sees everything so differently, and it could be something as little as Christmas, but
Yeah.
just it's just very very interesting.
It's funny. You say this time of year people are typically nicer and all this stuff, which yeah, is true. Not for me. I keep it very honest, and one way I really liked, I sometimes find myself around a lot of people who are very small-minded, and I love humbling people.
Mhm.
I really do. And I do it in a polite enough way where they don't kind of realize it until about halfway through. Then they're like, I see what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
But they're kind of scared of me, so they're not going to do anything about it. And so one of the things I love doing is for people who are very overbearing about
Mhm.
their beliefs, I just love correcting them. I'm like, Christmas isn't about Jesus, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, don't you say that? I'm like, technically, if it's a pagan holiday that the Catholic Church kind of took over, and I'll just get into the whole spiel, and they're just
Mhm.
like, why are you trying to ruin Christmas? Da, da, da. It's like, I'm not. Technically, you ruined my Yuletide holiday. Like, I'm just trying to be honest with you. I do the same thing with Easter.
Uh-huh.
I do the same thing with Easter because a lot. It makes me bust out laughing every time I see children picking up Easter eggs because, good Lord, Easter
Mm-hmm.
is celebrated around the spring equinox,
Mm-hmm.
and the spring equinox is all about vitality, things coming back to life, fertility. That's why the rabbit is the symbol,
Ah,
and
okay.
and there's Beltane and Ostara, Ostra,
Mm-hmm.
and they are major pagan holidays around that time, and they celebrate it the way it's traditionally supposed to be celebrated. I'm gonna keep it PG, but it makes me laugh so bad when I see these kids picking up eggs, and I want to go to the parents who are very small minded, just be like, you know what your kid's doing, right?
Yeah.
Your little 5-year-old's partaking in the fertility rite.
See, and that's something that I had no idea about. That's crazy.
It's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And I always tell people this story because I know a lot of people don't know that.
No. Yeah, I had
And
no idea.
then they'll be like, well, how do you celebrate it then? And then I tell them how they celebrate. And they're just like, clutch my pearls. Oh, I'm like, you asked.
It's like, hey, the real world isn't always pretty.
There was this one guy, his name he goes by Elijah Saint. He's part of the Dark Trinity, the group I'm a part of,
Mhm.
Papa Saint. And we were all piled up in a car to go to a show in Paris. And I told him, because it came up in conversation. I'm like, and I told him what the celebration of the Festivus was. And he's like, for real? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'm going to try to convince my lady to do because they have a kid, and so they got to do the Easter eggs and all this stuff.
Like, hey,
And
I
it's
got a
like-
better idea for Easter this
Yeah.
year.
He's like, Bree, let's go get a blanket and let's go hang out in the woods.
Celebrate Easter the way it was meant to be celebrated.
Yes. Man, gotta celebrate the sun coming back to life. Cause good Lord, I do love that I can sleep in and it still only be 9 a.m. or even 10 a.m.
Mhm.
But my God, having to drive around at night at 5:30 is not cool.
Oh, I
'Cause
hate this.
I can't see very well at
Yeah.
night. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, ever since I had LASIK, I've had such a hard time driving at night.
Really?
And it sucks. Like,
Uh-huh.
I've always been able to actually see in the dark more than other people had.
Uh-huh.
And I can still kind of do that. But if I'm driving and there's extra light, no.
Yeah,
Ain't no way.
and that's what bothers me. Like, if I'm
Mhm.
driving, and so like coming back from Lubbock doesn't bother me whatsoever because most of the
Yeah.
time I'm the only car on 20.
Exactly. It's so easy.
yeah, it's super dark. It doesn't bother me. But like in Dallas or somewhere where you are having a lot of traffic, like they just blind me, dude. There's nothing I can do about it. Like it's super bad. And like you said, with it getting so dark, like I wake up and I leave the house and it's dark. And
Yeah, because you got to get up early.
when I get home, it's dark, and it's like, man, if I could just have an hour at home
Give me
with
some
a
sun.
little bit of daylight. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this time change whatsoever.
No, Bam. You
Mhm.
must stay inside and get pasty white like me.
Well, that's why they make tanning beds.
They don't help me. I gave up on those a long time ago.
Oh, I had brutally burned myself in a couple of those before.
Oh, I
And,
bet.
it's so
I bet.
bad.
Did you recently hear about the dude who kind of in a tanning bed in a Planet Fitness?
No.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. I don't want to say it was local, but I remember reading it and I was like, oof.
Oh,
But
man.
you know what's really, this kind of tells you how, I don't like Planet Fitness, so I don't care.
I don't either.
Like, they didn't find that dude until 3 days after. So it's like, first off, while I should be saying, oh my gosh, poor guy, the first thing that comes to my head is, you really don't clean your tanning beds that often.
No, not at all.
Like,
For
you should have
3
found that dude that
days?
night.
Well, and you also didn't even realize that he never came out of the tanning bed?
Right? No, they don't pay attention.
No.
Call me an old head, but kids these days will just be on their phone and be like, hey,
Yeah,
what's up?
it
I
is bad.
I used to get in trouble. I used to get written up if I even looked at the time on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, let's see. Florida, of course.
Typical.
Everything happens in Florida. Okay, never mind. Florida, Indianapolis. Like, this happens a lot.
I was going to say, this is multiple?
I want to know how.
Are we about to
That's-
chase down the Planet Fitness rabbit hole?
Man, like, is there something going on here that we should know about Planet Fitness? So coming for you. Don't challenge me. I watch all the documentaries.
So they just found him 3 days later?
Yep, they found him 3 days later. Oh, poor dude. I know it's morbid, but gosh, imagine what it smelled like.
That's what. Well, how could that not? I mean,
That's got to tip
that's
you
what I'm
off.
thinking, right? Like it took 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and there had to be some kind of stench coming from there before 72 hours. I mean,
Ugh.
yeah.
Blech. Okay, let's turn away from the creepy for a second. Let's go ahead and
Enough deaths in Planet Fitness tanning beds.
let's get a little bit back. I mean, technically, this podcast is what we want it to be. We want to be entertaining, so hopefully other wrestlers will listen to it on their long drive homes. I mean, we're doing like an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. Like, that's definitely a time waster. So I want to circle back to wrestling a little bit because I feel like this is going to be a really good topic. So, Dog Pound is now with NWA Texas. So when I first saw that flyer, I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And all I saw was the NWA Texas. But what I didn't notice until a little while later was the smaller print that said official territory of the National Wrestling Alliance. Territories? Really? So I started thinking about it because NWA was the governing body for. I mean, probably wrestlers will watch this, but if you don't know what the whole territory thing is, so NWA was the primary governing body for professional wrestling in the United States until like the 1980s.
When Vince took over,
Yeah. And they had a system where territories would recognize champions and they would exchange talent. They do that talent exchange and they would protect the integrity of the champions, which a lot of promotions don't do these days. And big hits. Anyway, like if the NWA women's tag team champs, I believe they're the It Girls currently right now, if they wrestled outside of NWA, they wouldn't be buried. They'd be taken care of.
Yeah.
They're a champion. They're a national champion. It's like having freaking Liv Morgan come and like lose to a roll up.
Yeah.
Kidding me? No.
Yeah.
And so territories was a really good way for people to exchange their talent without fearing them getting buried. Because when it comes to local promotions, the local fans are loyal.
They are.
I got people. So you would think for a wrestling fan, you have Lou Gotti's promotion.
DFW All Pro.
Yes, you have DFW All Pro on Friday nights. And then you have SOAR Saturday nights. Big wrestling fans will go to both.
Yeah.
When I've wrestled at both, people would be like, oh my gosh, I've seen you at SOAR. Oh my gosh, I've seen you over there. Like, and it was cool. And they're like, oh, I've wanted to see you here for a while. It's like, yeah, you're a diehard fan. I know exactly who you are. And so it's really cool to have those fans. So these territories, they were in major promotions. They always worked with the major promotions in the area. And with that loyal fan base, so now you have Dog Pound in San Antonio. You're probably not going to see a lot of other promotions in the San Antonio area. And the big issue is, back then, when a promoter invaded another promoter's territory, it was a cardinal sin.
Yeah.
Like, you see this line? You do not cross this line.
Exactly.
And so I'm over here just like, territories, they're reviving. Like, they're really coming back?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And so, because is it going to be an issue like it was back then? I can see it becoming an issue, but at the same time, it's like, this is a great opportunity for a bunch of wrestlers. But you're going to have those selfish promoters that are like, no, you are my talent. You go nowhere. And it's like, bro, come on. So.
But also that promoter, shame on him.
Shame on them. Yeah.
You know, I've never been a fan of, like, hey, you can come and wrestle for me, but in this town you can only wrestle for me.
Right.
Which I can understand to an extent, right? Because why, let's say this promotion charges $20 a ticket. Well, 2 towns over, the next promotion charges $10 a ticket.
They will make that drive. Yeah.
But a lot of times, like, so I can understand why a promoter would be like, why would people come pay $20 to see you here when they can go see you for $10 down the road? I do get that. But if $20 promoter is putting on a less valuable show than the $10 promoter, then I'm going to go to the $10 promoter.
Absolutely.
Because I need to make my step up. And that promoter, they have to realize that, right? Like you can't cage someone and keep them in one
Right.
promotion forever.
Yep.
Now, if you want to do that, then fine, that's great. Sign them to an exclusive deal and pay them
And take care of them well, so
a
that way they
yearly
don't do
salary,
that.
and they have no reason to go
Yeah.
somewhere else. I don't necessarily think it would be a problem. I don't think things are going to be quite as cutthroat as they were back in the 80s, just because things can't be. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we just you cannot get away with stuff that those guys were doing and that you can do. You know,
Right.
in today's and age with these around and everything else. So,
Right.
I honestly I think I just see it being a good thing. I really
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I.
It's a good thing if everyone just works together, because
Mhm.
wrestling fans are wrestling fans. They will
Mhm.
spend their money and go every weekend if they want to.
Mhm.
So if the promotions work together,
Mhm.
like Lou does Fridays, Bobby does Saturdays, that's a
Yep.
great relationship. That's
Mhm.
simpatico. But what happens if you have a big promotion here on the
Mhm.
same day as a smaller promotion? That's lost revenue. Probably going to lose some talent, because if they get booked at the bigger one, sorry, they're going to go to the bigger one because
Mhm.
it's more eyes on them. It's more opportunity.
Mhm.
Because I find that a lot of people make this personal,
Yeah,
and it's a business.
and it
Like
really is.
you can't get personal in this. You go and get your feelings hurt, but you
Mhm.
can't take it personally. You really
No.
can't. And so they could lost revenue if they run on the same day. Um, they
And
lose
that's the
their top
thing
talent.
that's never made sense to me, right? Is of course, you know, Bobby and Lou, that makes sense. Why would they want to run against
Right.
each other? Um, why not have a Friday, Saturday? I imagine their shows are usually pretty close together. So you're going to be drawing the same fans
Yeah.
to both shows. So why not, you know, work together
Right.
instead of both trying to book venues 5 minutes apart on the same day
Hmm.
and battling back? Like, to me, that's just a lose lose.
Yeah.
When you can separate it and work together, just like you said, then why are more people not doing that? Is it
Hmm.
just full blown ego driven? And you know, I one of the kind of circling back to the WWID thing is like, um, you know, let's be real, and this is no slight to any promotion in Houston whatsoever. Row is the number one promotion in the Houston area.
Sorry, not sorry.
I will put my foot down, and I'm not sitting here saying everyone else is crap. No,
No,
there's some really good promotions in Houston. Row is just next level.
it is.
Yes, they're gonna get the WWE ID deal, plus with Booker and everything else that makes sense. But you know, one of the complaints that I saw was talent getting paid less money to work, you know, a WWE ID show. And they were saying, well, you know, this is WWE ID. I can't give you that price, but this is good exposure. And it is.
It is. It sucks. It's a hit to the wallet, but
But
it
there's
is.
other ways of getting paid in professional wrestling
Oh yeah, absolutely.
outside of just the strict payday.
I've taken a hit off pay because I knew I was going to get great production value
Yeah.
of a match. I've done that many times.
Yeah.
And so but that's not the mentality that people have these days.
No.
They want to get paid, and I get it. It's an
Mhm.
expensive hobby until you can start making a name for yourself. I get it. But people, all they want to do is come to training every now and then immediately they just want to get booked on a show.
Mhm.
They don't want to drive. They don't want to do podcasts. They don't want to put their name out there. And it's like, what do you think this is? Like,
Yeah.
it's self promotion until you get there. And
Yeah.
even then, you still have to promote.
Yeah, I mean, you get what you put into this, and I just don't think very many people. And honestly, dude, it took me a while for that light bulb to finally click off in my head. And I'm like, damn, if I would have been doing the things I'm doing right now at 22, 23, where would I be? And I'm like, well, do you know what? Unfortunately, I didn't do those things at 22 or
You're
23,
doing them now.
but I'm doing them at 27, 28.
Yeah.
And so, do you know what? That's all I can do, and just continue to move forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, like everything that I saw where somebody had something negative to say about the WWE ID, or even the territory thing with Dog Pound and NWA, um, I just shot it down instantly. Like, there's the good outweighs the bad in every instance
Yeah.
in this, and I just don't understand how you could think it could be the other way around.
And it makes me laugh when I see the comment of, "Oh, they're just going to give people such an easy ride into the E." And I'm like, "You seriously think WWE ID is an easy ride? If
No.
anything, they're going to be harder on them." Like, what
Yeah.
do you mean, dude? Like, there's a reason why they're chosen. They can see the determination, they can see the talent, they can see that they will work for it. And so if you have Schmo Joe coming over here and he's hasn't been wrestling for a couple months because he's like, whatever, no one will pay me. Ooh, WWE ID, they'll definitely sign me. No, they're not going to sign you.
No.
You can be the greatest wrestler ever. They're not going to sign you
No.
because they need someone who's going to put that extra work in.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And the people that are saying that, they don't have the work ethic to do it anyways. So
or they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's just an excuse for them to feel better about themselves, not doing anything themselves. Like, oh, well, that's never going to work anyways.
Like, what's the point? Like, they're just going to look at someone else. Like, well, I mean, yeah, with that mentality, they will.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's all about, because you don't learn everything at once about this business. There are interesting ways you can get involved into the business that kind of makes you more aware of things.
Yeah.
Like different timelines. And one of the earliest things that I learned is that wrestlers are flavors of the month.
Yep.
Like if you go to a E tryout and they don't like you, but then 2 months later you go to an E try, they might like you. Like you have to be able to take that rejection because again, nothing personal. It's entertainment. You gotta cycle in.
Yeah.
Especially if they see that there's something there, and if there's someone who's injured, unfortunately it happens. You gotta replace them. Like, ugh, it's just so annoying.
And it cracks me up too. Like you said, like, oh, they're gonna have the easy road into the E, and I don't know if like that is such a simple-minded response to that. Like, dude, when you get to the E, that's when the grind starts. Like, you think we're busting our tails on the independent circuit?
Worse.
Wait till you get that schedule. You know, so there is no easy way in. And you know, like we brought up earlier, Logan Paul, he was already a multi-million-dollar investment, and that's why WWE wanted to bring him in. You know, they didn't just go find Logan Paul on the streets and go, "Hey, we're gonna make you a star."
Right.
You know,
I mean, they used to do that back in the 70s and 80s, but they don't do that no more.
But times have changed.
Times have very much changed. I would like to say for the better. Just kidding. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great thing. But again, with these, I still can't wrap my head around. I just think this territories thing is so funny because as great as it is, I know something's going to happen because I also know not only is NWA starting to do Texas territories, there's another promotion that does Texas territories, King of Sports. They have places up in Oklahoma too. They're starting to kind of get the southern area, and then NWA's kind of coming in. So it's kind of like, where's the line going to be drawn?
Yeah.
So I'm one of those people. I don't like drama if it involves me. If it doesn't involve me, I'll be sitting there with my popcorn bucket just enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, even King of Sports, I mean, they put on an amazing show and they have a great production.
And they have their own style. It's Texas strong style, right?
Style, yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually going over there to January 11th.
Have you ever worked for them before?
Nope. They've been
Great
wanting
show.
me to come over there for a while, but injuries.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what they're going to have me do, but I'm just like, hey, here's my portfolio. Have fun. Figure out where you want me.
And I'll
luck.
be there. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great show. They do a lot of stuff with like younger schools, and so like we did.
Yeah, because they do it out of gymnasiums, right? I love that.
So, and it's very old school feel, like very, very old school.
Even the flyers are old school. I love it.
Yeah, so I've done several stuff with them before. Like we did this past May, it may have been. It was the last day of school for a middle school. So we came in, their last day of school, we put on a wrestling
they're already
show.
hype.
Dude, we had kids fighting in the stands.
Oh my gosh, I remember you telling me that story.
Yes, absolutely insane. These kids were way too wound up to watch a wrestling show, but I had an absolute blast.
I bet you did. Probably being like, hey, hold this for a second, brother. I want to see what happens with this kid. Ooh.
Yeah, and that's what happened. The match that was in the ring, the dude grabbed the chin lock and was like, hey, just sit here for a second. Let that all work itself out, and then went right back to the match.
Yeah, that's a professional right there.
Yep.
Don't waste your time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's definitely red light.
And let's be
red
real.
light off.
All the eyes are not on the ring at that point. No.
Oh, gosh, I love that. Oh, my God. Once again, An hour has just flown by. Good Lord.
Mhm.
I
It
love it
always
though.
does, yeah.
I love it though. I love that we can just come in here and just talk about whatever.
Mhm.
And I would hope it's at least informative and entertaining for those who are listening.
Mhm.
I have, since I uploaded the first episode, I haven't gone on to see if anyone's like watched it or commented on it. But I do know one of my students did watch it.
Oh,
And
yeah?
that's how I found out that he actually graduated from Terrell as well.
Oh, did he really?
He
Okay.
graduated in 2016.
What's his name?
His name is Rico.
Rico.
Rico
Okay.
Cannon, I think that's
Okay.
his name.
I knew several kids from, because I was 15 from Forney, so I knew several kids that went to Terrell, and I played football and like outside of school football,
Yeah.
like spring league type stuff with a bunch of them.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I probably know several people that know him. That's so funny. It's such a small world, though, isn't it? And like
It really is. Because I looked at him, I'm like, really?
Terrell, yeah,
Really?
and it's so crazy how many people like come from. Because I mean, I consider this East Texas, like.
It
You know,
is,
it's
yeah.
not East Texas, but we're east of Dallas. That's east enough.
Mhm.
But it's funny how many people are from this part of the world. You
Right.
know, Mesquite, Forney, Rockwall, Terrell. You know, even Wills Point. Like,
Right.
I run into so many people, and I'm like, "Oh, where are you from?" And they're like, "Oh, you may not know Forney, or
I was like,
you
"Try
may not
me."
know." Yeah, like, "Oh, Crandall," and I'm like, "I know exactly where Crandall is." Like,
Right. And now that my boyfriend and we got to East Texas a lot because we had that house out there by Caddo Lake.
Mhm.
So now I know I know Jefferson,
Yep.
Marshall, Karnak, Uncertain. And so I love that there's a town called Uncertain there, population like 85.
That's hilarious.
87 when we drive in there for breakfast.
That's so
And
funny.
They all know us now because
Uh-huh.
it's such a small town. And it's really funny because they want us to move out there so bad. And we totally would. Like, we love the quiet. Like, if we get internet out there, I can work from home. I don't got to worry about
That'd be
jack.
nice. Yeah.
But they want us there because they want young blood, because they want families to start being there. And me and him, we're just looking at like, oh, you're barking up the wrong tree, but I ain't want no kids. You're just going to have to enjoy my young-ish presence.
Yeah,
Like-
and I would love to, because like my parents, they own they have like 26 acres out in Grand Saline.
Nice.
And so they've told, I have a younger brother, he's 5 years younger than me, and they told us like, hey, you know, if you guys ever wanted to build out here, we would give you guys 5 acres each.
Ooh,
And
okay.
So, you know, I would have 5, so that would give Kate and I 5. Well, that still leaves my parents 16.
Oh, you're going to have a homestead.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, and I was like, man, that would be so cool.
It would.
I'm just not there yet. Like, I'm just
You will be.
not, I can't, I love it out there, but at my age and everything right now, I just don't think I'm ready for that and where I'm at in life. But eventually, you know, if everything goes to plan and I'm as busy and traveling as much as I would, you know, love
Right.
to be, those few days that I am home, I'd love to be isolated and just be out there in the middle of nowhere.
I feel like you would have to as a professional
Yeah.
wrestler. I mean, good Lord, I just do independent shows now, but even I need that Sunday to be dead silent. I cannot people.
No.
Some days better than others,
Yeah.
but I get so overwhelmed because, and I blame the tism,
Mm.
but I just get so overwhelmed with all these people. And don't get me wrong, I love it.
Mhm.
Love entertaining
Me
people.
too.
I love being in the crowd. I love just making them yell and getting them all hype and stuff and being there for them,
Mhm.
because that's what you do. You're there for them.
Yeah.
You're not there to just work, get your money, and go. No, you're there for the people. And I put my whole heart into that.
Yeah.
Which exhausts me.
Mhm.
So then the next day, I have to be so quiet. I sleep in. I can't go anywhere. I always make sure that I do my grocery shopping, my laundry. I do everything before Sunday and Saturday hits.
Oh, really?
So that
you-
way Sunday hits, I'm literally there on my little granny chair, freaking doing embroidery, which I started doing recently, and it's amazing
Uh-huh.
how deconstructive that is, because who would have thought stabbing something 1,000 times and not going to jail for it would be really therapeutic.
Yeah.
And you make art. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I
I
love it.
normally Sundays, so I will do my grocery shopping on Sundays, but
Classic.
that's it. Like I know, basic, but I'll do my grocery shopping and I'll do laundry at the house. But I mean, other than that, like that is it. Sundays are my down day, and I mean, you know, my shoot job, you know, I'm a personal trainer throughout
Yep.
the week, so I'm energetic. Up, come on, let's go,
Gotta be.
go. Monday through Friday, Saturday hits, we're on the road doing what we have to do. Like Sunday is it. Like that's our rest and recover day. Like that's pretty
Yeah.
much that's kind of all we get,
The day
besides
of rest.
besides the couple hours that we get, at the end of each day, which is usually getting everything ready for the next morning and then going to bed.
Hmm.
So yeah, I love my Sundays.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm very lucky that I have a job where I work from home. I only have to go in the office a couple times a week. And so my day can end, like I start my day nice and early, whether it's PT or I go to the gym, do my work, I get all my work done. I have my evenings free. And so I really do enjoy, and I'm very, very thankful. Because why not? It's the
Yeah,
week of Thanksgiving. Let's talk about what we're thankful for. I'm very thankful for the life I have right now. I'm very thankful for my schedule. I'm thankful for all the people that I have in my life, and everything. I'm definitely the type of person, everything happens for a reason.
hmm,
Because if I look back on all of the quote unquote bad things that happened to me, something fantastic came out of it. And looking back, especially this year, I'm thinking about all the things that changed, all the things that I've learned, that I've discovered about myself. I'm just like, this year was really a wild ride,
yeah,
and it sucked, but I did learn so many valuable lessons from it.
yeah,
So I'm very thankful for everything that's happened to me, good and bad,
yeah.
because you can't have one or the other. You got to
No.
have both to appreciate it.
Hmm.
And that duality can really, really hurt a lot of people around this time of year,
Yeah.
which is really unfortunate. Because, yeah, yes, you have people who just love Christmas, they see their family, but you have people who don't have family. And so, long story short, I'm very thankful.
Yeah. I am too. And like this year has, you said something that really resonated with me, like your schedule. Like I was telling Savannah this the other day, like I feel like everything has aligned to where for the first time in a long time, at least my adulthood, that I feel like I have a somewhat work balance,
Nice.
work normal relationship. Like, so before I was doing what I was doing right now, I was running an Anytime Fitness,
Oh, man.
making like 22 grand a year, ridiculous.
That's it?
Yes.
Oh, my
So
God.
I picked up a bouncing job as well.
Really?
So I would work at the gym Monday through Friday. So I would get there at 10, I would leave at 7, I would go bounce, and then I would get off at 1 a.m. and then go home and immediately repeat again. So
You were hustling.
I was working 65, 70, 75 hours a week every single week, and then getting in the car Saturday, going to go do all that stuff. And then,
Jeez.
so talk about literally only having Sunday to myself. There for a
Yeah.
long time, that was it. As to where now, yeah, dude, like I'll bitch and complain about getting up at 4 a.m. to go train at 5, but I promise you, I love that much, much more than, what I was doing beforehand. I'm home every, for the most part during the week, I'm home, you know, 6:30, 7.
Right?
I get to see Savannah. I get to hang out with the dogs for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Like there for a while, and I did that for 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
The running the Anytime and the bouncing. So I got so used to that I think I just thought that's how it had to be. That was the grind.
Totally.
That's how it had to be. So now that I pulled away from that, at first it was weird. Like I was finding myself almost antsy. Like I'd
Mm-hmm.
get home, like okay, like what else? What else? Like I felt
Nothing.
like
Calm
yeah,
down.
and Savannah would be like, hey dude, like chill, you're fine.
Right.
Like you did everything today. There's nothing else left to do.
Relax.
And I was like, "Are you sure?" Like, that relaxing at the end of the afternoon, unless I called out sick from bouncing, like, Monday through Thursday, that's what I was doing. I was and then, Friday nights, I would usually either be out at a booking or a lot of times I'd pick up bouncing at Friday because I didn't have a booking. I was like, I'll go make some extra cash instead of taking that evening to myself and having a little bit of downtime. So, you do that for 2.5 years to where I am now. Like, it feels so good to be able to breathe, like at the end of the day, and not be going to sleep already dreading what's coming tomorrow.
Right.
That is the worst feeling in the entire
Mm-hmm.
world, is going to sleep like, oh, I just pulled this 17-hour day. Can't wait to do it again tomorrow.
That's just so unfortunate, because I am right on. I am right there with you with
Mhm.
that, because are you technically a millennial?
So I think technically because I'm 96, so what's after millennial? Gen, I don't keep up with any of that stuff.
Something.
Gen Z,
Gen something.
X,
I think C.
Z. I think I'm Gen Z.
Okay. So I will say the people of especially my generation and your early generation, I'll just
Mhm.
say, is I'm totally right there with you on just doing all this work. And it's very unfortunate to say that we hustled so much to barely have anything. And
Yeah.
that was our normal. Like, I, I didn't have a job as a teenager growing up, but as soon as I moved to Dallas, I had two jobs. I was in school full time and I was doing all these extracurricular activities outside of it. And I'm like, good Lord, how did I have all this time? Because now, and that would from 18 up until I finally graduated college when I was 26. I worked two jobs all the time. I went to school full time. I made the dean's list every time because I'm a freaking overachiever. I'm going to make that dean's list, even
Yeah.
though it doesn't matter. C's get degrees, guys. Okay, C's get degrees. Don't let them tell you differently.
Mhm.
And I just put so much pressure on myself because that's all I've known. And since I graduated, I finally got a fantastic job where I only have to have one. And I'm here sitting and I'm like, how in the hell did I do that?
Yeah.
How? How was that normal? That's not cool.
Yeah. I
'Cause-
mean, from 23 to about, you know, 25, almost 26. Like, dude, I feel like that part of my life is just like gone.
Gone.
Yeah, and I did some cool stuff in wrestling, but outside of that, if you ask me what I did during those years, I worked
Mhm.
a lot.
Yeah.
And for what? And like you said, like you just said, we worked so much to have nothing.
Yeah.
And even looking at that, like I was busting my ass working 65, 70 hours a week for a 1-bedroom apartment
Mhm.
in Dallas.
Yeah.
Why? And
You couldn't even splurge on groceries.
no, yeah, it's just like I don't know. Our generation got so, and I'm not saying all of it's a bad thing, right? Like
Nah.
I mean, dude, I'd still grind away.
Yeah.
I got up at 4. It is what it is. You have to work hard, but you can't lose sight of what's truly important.
Right.
And I definitely did for a long, long time. With working so much, and I told myself that there was no way I could have a relationship. There's no way I could date anybody because I just didn't have time.
Mhm.
And so I just completely ignored that and just, and it'd be one thing if I was working 70 hours a week, dedicating that to make it, to wrestling for my goal, what I truly want to do. No, dude, I was putting 70 hours a week at a gym that I didn't own and a
Right.
bar that I could care less about. So why, and it wasn't benefiting me in wrestling. If anything, it was hurting me,
Yeah.
so why was like, those are the things that you look back on and you're like, why did I do that? But at that time, like that was survival for me. Like
Yeah.
I had to do that. That was it was either that, like you can either bust your tail and struggle, or you can be a lazy piece of crap and struggle. You're going to struggle either way.
Yeah.
But maybe just pull back 15-20% from
Like,
from,
which one's
from
going to
that
benefit
hustle.
you a little more?
Yeah, from that hustle, maybe just pull back just 15-20%. Maybe I could have done Monday, Thursday at the bar, not Monday through
Maybe.
Thursday, like, but
No, I did every day.
mm-hmm,
Why not?
mm-hmm,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's really interesting because around that early 20s, at the same time, you're trying to do all these things that you think you need. Because
Mhm.
one thing that people don't understand until they get older, and I'm of a weird individual who I learned this at a very young age, so I consider myself an old soul with this, which is why people think I'm weird. But you don't know who you truly are and what you truly need until you actually know who you are. And people don't understand what that means. But when you think about it, if you just kind of sit in the mirror, you just
Mhm.
stare at yourself. If you can stare at yourself and be like, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
cool, you're fine. But if you can't stand the side of yourself, something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong. It's weird. It's a nice little trick. And then you can start doing shadow work, figure out what's wrong with you. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say wrong, but some things that need fixing. But anyway, it's really hard to find your identity at an early age. And when you finally do,
Mhm.
and you know who you are, you
Mhm.
know what you need.
Mhm.
This is one thing, like, oh, I go to Sam's, I get 2 weeks worth of groceries because screw having to go to grocery shopping every week. I'm a big girl now. I got big money. Not, I'm broke. But
the definition of big money always changes too, right?
exactly.
Well, guys, my name is Chase Malone. I've been joined with Ashley. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to After the 3 Count, and we will see you next time.
Bye.